Hello and welcome. In this Hack Your Knits video, I'm going to be guiding you through one of the most popular questions I get asked, which is when I want to use thinner or thicker yarn than a pattern is suggesting, what size should I knit? So this is a little equation that I use pretty frequently whenever I want to interchange yarn weights. So in this sample, I'm going to be using this worksheet that I've created. This is a free download off the Firefly website. And it's just a quick little guide to figure out what size you should knit when you want to use thinner or thicker yarn than the pattern calls for. But if you've downloaded this, looked at it, and you're still confused, I am here to help. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to knit our gauge swatch. So you're going to want to create a fabric that you like with the yarn that you want to use. And I've got my swatch here that I've knit. So let's say I want to knit a fingering weight sweater and I want to use this kind of DK light worsted yarn. So I've knit my swatch here and now I'm ready to measure for gauge. So I've got my ruler here and I'm just going to lay this on top of my swatch in a straight line here. And then I like to take something like real skinny, like these tapestry needles, and stick them right where the measurement is in my fabric. That way I can count without worrying about the ruler moving around too much. So there I've got my stitches marked. And then I like to count with something that's thin and pointy, like a needle. So we'll start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that is, my gauge is 21 stitches over 4 inches. I'll write that down here. And then 21 stitches over 4 inches is my gauge. Write that down so you don't forget. And now we're ready for step 2, which I think is probably the most confusing part, especially when I'm trying to make it as concise so I can fit the explanation in on a small worksheet like this. Step 2 says, search your pattern for the number of stitches at the measurement given. So if the garment is measured at the waist, how many stitches are at the waist? If it's measured at the chest, how many stitches are at the chest? Make note as where to find this. We'll need it later. So this is going to be different for pretty much every pattern. I mean, you're going to have an idea of where to find it, but you know, every pattern is different. So if you're making a top-down raglan, this is going to be the number of stitches that are at the chest after you separate for sleeves. If you're doing a, bottom-up top that has waist shaping, it's going to be the number at the chest after you've finished all of the waist shaping. If it's a bottom-up raglan, it's probably with no waist shaping, it's going to be the number that you cast on most likely. If it's a pair of shorts that I work top down, it's going to probably be the cast on number. So it really just depends what it is that you're knitting and how it's knit to really be able to find this number. I'm going to guide you through on my pattern here. This is my Logan square stripe. So let's say this is the fingering weight top that I want to knit. I have read through the instructions, let's say I didn't design it. And this is just a pattern that you're getting ready to knit. I've read through all the instructions. I know the construction is bottom up with no waist shaping. I've got my little measurement here. So I know that this measurement at the hem is the same here. And so it's the number that, for this pattern in particular, it's going to be the number that I cast on. So that will be the measurement at the chest, which is how we pick the size that we want to knit. So normally I like to make things around 40, 44 if it's bigger. So I usually would go for like knitting a size 3 or maybe a size 4. But since I want to use thicker yarn, I know that I'm going to need thicker yarn. I know I'm going to need to make a smaller size rather. So I have my pattern here. I need to, like step 2 says, find that number. So Since it's a bottom up top, I know the number is going to be my cast on number. So here they are. This is how many stitches are at the chest. And like I said, it's going to be a different location in your pattern for every single pattern. So I'm going to set that aside, keeping note of where I found it. And now we're ready for some math. So we're going to use this equation here to figure out our magic number, or whatever number of stitches we need at the chest to get the size that we want. So let's say, I don't know, that I want my top to be 44 inches at the bust. I want like a looser top, boxy type thing. So 44 stitches at the bust. So that's the desired finished measurement, 44 over 4. And then that's going to be times our gauge, and our gauge is 21 stitches. So let's do some math here. So 44 divided by 4 times 21 is 231. And that's our magic number. So great, we figured out our magic number. And now we're ready to move on to the final step. All right, so our final step here says, using the stitch numbers that we found in step 2, find the closest number to our magic number. So we've got our instructions here. And here's our magic number. So 200, 226, 252, 278. These numbers, I want to find the closest one to my magic number. So my magic number is 231. So the closest one is at 226. It's a few stitches off, but that's okay. It's going to fit perfectly. So now I know that I knit size 2 because it's the second number. And that's pretty much it. Now you know to knit size 2 using your new yarn, and it'll come out with a 44 slightly smaller inch bust. So hopefully that helps. Like I said, this is a question that I get asked a lot. If there are other hacks that you're wanting to do but you're not quite sure how to approach them, let me know. Leave a comment, send a message. Maybe I'll make a video explaining it. Thanks and good luck.